Last week, while sipping on a warm cup of cappuccino in a local coffee shop, I remarked to a younger friend that, despite all we hear about higher education these days, going to a prestigious school had worked out well for him. After all, he met his wife there and now has a rewarding career. I was surprised by his response. He told me, quote, "Yes, I was one of the lucky ones, but it didn't work out so well for many of my classmates." "How so?" I asked. "Well, when we got there, they effectively told us we could study and do pretty much whatever we wanted, because the power of their brand was so strong that, once we got our degrees, companies would fall all over themselves to hire us." Unfortunately, for many of my friends, that just wasn't true. Hi, I'm Todd, and I've had the good fortune to live the American dream and watch that dream become a reality for many others. These podcasts and my free Substack newsletter are my way of passing on some of what I've learned along the way. After a short break, we'll come back to look further at what's happened to college and education in America. For decades now, America's universities have pitched a version of the idea expressed earlier. In fact, it became so widely accepted it found its way into our political discourse and policy proposals. When running against Barack Obama in 2008, around the time my young friend went off to college, Hillary Clinton observed, "The most important doorway into the middle class is education beyond high school. Today, a college graduate earns twice as much as a high school graduate. This is $1 million bonus over the working lifetimes of today's college seniors." End of quote. When running for office again in 2016, as mounting college debts were starting to challenge the long-held belief that college is the key to a better future, Ms. Clinton advocated that college should be tuition-free for families earning less than $125,000 a year, even as she also walked back the expected lifetime earnings premium of a degree from $1 million to a little bit under $600,000. Now, on the surface, this logic seems unassailable. After all, if a college degree more or less guarantees at least $500,000 in added lifetime earnings, why wouldn't everybody go to school? But as many of my young friends' classmates found out, there are no such guarantees in the real world. The simple logic behind Ms. Clinton's comments failed to take into account two critical concepts: what you learn and what you pay for it, both of which have changed dramatically over time. If you go to college and are taught that you have to work hard to get good grades in fields that will lead to jobs where the college premium will more than offset the cost of the education, things are likely to work out well for you. And in fact, this is pretty much how college worked until the last couple of decades. But if you go to school and learn that you don't have to work hard and that your degree more or less entitles you to a better life, then you've basically been set up for failure and disillusionment. Of course, if you are also taught that such failures should be blamed on America and its founding ideals and not on your dysfunctional education, then you may well have been radicalized into thinking the solution lies in overthrowing many of our founding principles. All of which goes a long way to understanding Zoran Mamdani's support among young, disgruntled, and debt-burdened college graduates. The extraordinary increase in the cost of college only compounds the problems of what we're taught. A half a century ago, college was a great bargain. The cost was so low that it was relatively easy to get a job that would pay for it. And even the cost of focusing on learning for learning's sake, or even wasting your time, was not insurmountable. Several decades of mismanagement and of universities trading off the simplistic beliefs expressed earlier have made college a very expensive proposition today. A key point here is that overwhelming college debts are a symptom of an underlying disconnect between today's educational costs and the value of what many are being taught. Making college free for everyone will not fix this underlying problem. In fact, by pushing even more people into a dysfunctional system, it will make things even worse. Fortunately, there's more than one way to get an education. Each Tuesday, I'm a guest on the John Fredericks Morning Show. John rose from a humble background to become a successful business person, lost it all in the housing bubble and collapse just as he was starting a young family, and has since managed to rebuild his life and career. He's a testament to the truth that there is more than one way to get an education, and there are simply no substitutes for hard work and perseverance. Today, he owns a radio network and hosts his show from Washington, D.C., where he's a frequent participant in White House press conferences. This week, while I was waiting for my time slot, I had the good fortune to listen to John tell his audience about a recent experience of his. To quote John, "Walking home yesterday, I noticed a young African-American man diligently cleaning up the trash along the sidewalk and in a nearby park. I had seen him many times before, but for some reason this time I went up and told him how much I appreciated his hard work and dedication to keeping the area clean and neat. And I went on to say how much it improved the lives of everyone who passed by. With tears in his eyes and heavy gloves on his hands, the young man came over, gave me a big hug, and told me that no one had ever thanked him before, and then went on to say how much it meant to him. He said he took great pride in his work, and he even challenged me to find another area along my walk that was as clean as his." John then went on to remark about how refreshing and uplifting he found the encounter, and encouraged his listeners to thank others in similar situations, and also noted that somewhere along the way, someone had given that young man a great education about what really matters in life. After finishing my segment with John that morning, I went off for a break at my favorite local coffee shop, and inspired by his story, the following short verse came to mind as I sat sipping on another warm cup of cappuccino. Obviously, I wrote this from John's perspective, not my own. It's called "I Saw a Man." "I saw a man just yesterday who takes the trash from where the children play. So I went to him and just had to say, 'Thank you so much for brightening our days.' His eyes filled with tears as he said to me, 'For all these years I've been working hard to make life beautiful in our little yard. And I take great pride in all I do, but no one said thanks until I met you.' So I gave him a hug and went on my way with a lighter step and a smile on my face. And I told this story on my radio show to show how hard work and appreciation can set our world aglow." I'm Todd. Thanks for your interest. If you found this helpful, please subscribe and recommend it to at least one other person. If you'd like to learn more and to find links to my free On Wealth and Progress newsletter and my book, please visit my website, toddsheetswriter.com. Thanks again, and have a great day.